That's Twisted.
This is Mark McNease with my co-host Rick Rose, and you're listening to another edition of The Twist. Welcome to The Twist Podcast, show number 186. This is Mark in rural New Jersey. That is my standard login. I could probably just record it and click play, but I prefer the personal touch. And I've got my co-host Rick Rose in urban, as he called it, urban Madison.
Yes, that's right, Mark. I just got back from somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's right. Louisiana. That's what's new for me. We'll talk about Mardi Gras. We are now in the beginning of Lent, Ash Wednesday. Did you get your ashes on your forehead or not?
No, but I saw them and it reminded me that it was Ash Wednesday. Because if you don't remember Ash Wednesday, just look at people's foreheads and you'll go like, what? What happened?
Yeah, takes you two, because the first one you're like, oh my God, that dude or dudette didn't wash their forehead. And then the second one you're like, oh, something's trending here,
Yes.
Yeah, that's
or
what
somebody
happens.
put a cigarette out on them.
I know, something like that.
That's very possible.
That's good. Well, happy Lent, everyone. Yeah, leading our way. Favorite holiday. Are you an Easter fan like I am? I know you like Halloween.
No, I love Halloween. Easter, I was kind of into it when I went to church. But I can't say I am. I started at my job at the Giant 5 years ago, Easter weekend.
Holy plops, really?
So it will soon be 5 years, and I will soon be leaving the full-time work. I am so excited.
That's our show riff. It comes up every show, the countdown to Mark's leaving.
Let's do that. Because, as you asked me earlier, being apparently surprised that I'm home on a Friday.
Yes.
I took a week's vacation. I finally get 3 weeks vacation, right? I'm going to leave the job, and I finally have been there long enough to get 3 weeks vacation. So I took a week. We went to Atlantic City for 2 nights, which was fine. But I said the next time we go, I want to go when it's warm weather so I can wear shorts and walk on the beach. And I want to go when there's more people there, because part of the thing about having Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off all these years is that you get great hotel rates, but restaurants are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and there's nobody there, which has its good things and its bad things. So you go to Atlantic City, and it's like a ghost town. So when we go back, it will be in warmer weather. And anyways, we had a good time, and then I'm off until Sunday. Sunday is the beginning of our work week at the Giant in a lot of retailers. So I go back on Sunday for 1 day, and then I'm off again for 3 more days. So I'm happy. How did this conversation happen?
Oh, we were just saying we're going to do a little countdown to work, and then what you did with your holiday off, your week.
Oh, I can't wait. Cool. I can't wait. And if you want to know what's new, since we're doing it?
Yeah, let's go. That's how we start our show for those who are joining for the first time. What's new? What's up?
Today is my 3rd day of eating like someone who intends to lose weight. I'm very happy about that. I've had I pigged out in Atlantic City. We went to Doc's Oyster House, which is, you got to go there. If you ever go to AC, go to Doc's Oyster House.
You got oysters? We have no oysters down in Louisiana when I was down there.
Well, I don't eat oysters. Frank eats them. I don't eat them. But I did have their signature dish, one of their signature dishes that made them popular, and it's the worst thing you can get. It was like everything was fried. I had fried crab cake, fried flounder, fried shrimp, French fries. It was so good. And that was it. And then it's like, I'm losing 40 pounds. Don't get in my way. So this is 3 days of really doing that. And I am just this morning. This is big news. I do the weekly red lines.
Yes.
Rhymes with headlines for people who don't ever seem to know that. I have to tell them, and that's okay. But I've wanted to do an audio edition, and nowadays that means a podcast. When you say an audio edition of something, it's a podcast. So I did my very first weekly Red Lines podcast, number 1. It augments the online version, the printed version, text version.
Oh, nice. So
you can listen to that. Just go to lgbtsr.com or markmcnease.com. Or actually, you can go to theweeklyredlines.com, and you'll see my online edition that I put out every week with lots of headlines and some fun, good news. And now it will include the podcast, which I recorded and published this month.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
20 minutes, an introduction. This is who I am. Or going forward, I'm not going to keep telling people about me. I'll just do an introduction like we do. And then I talk about the news headlines, and then I do a like deeper dive into some things. So it was 20 minutes. I think that's a good length.
I do too. I think that's fantastic. I'm glad you're doing it,
I like podcasting. I'm leaving. The closer I get to this, I'm not, waiting on people and cutting up fish and doing deli shit anymore. The more energized I am creatively. You know me. I'm a dynamo. I have 8 things I want to do creatively every day.
Right.
And I will soon be able to do them. So this is part of it. It's like getting a little bit of a head start here on the fabulousness.
It is fabulous, and I'm glad you're doing it. And it's we're talking about later in the show too. This thing called the Great Retirement. Like they're talking a lot about what was it called? The Great Exodus, where no one's working anymore.
The Great Resignation.
Yeah. So the Great Resignation goes with the Great Retirement. I'm going to talk about it a little later in the show. But I'm happy. I'm thinking like a retired person these days too. By the way, so that's a good feeling.
You're looking retired. Yeah.
Got to have the mindset,
you
of it.
The part.
But that's yes, for sure. What?
Kidding. We got to talk your new stuff because you have something new that I have had for 4 years, and we should talk about it.
What is it? You got me concerned. I don't
CPAP.
know.
You're doing a CPAP machine.
Oh my God, that's so weird you mentioned it because last night was my first night with it. My brother had cautioned me that I'm going to have a lot of extra energy, and as I'm sitting here before I start drinking my morning tea, I get a lot of energy. Do you find that oxygen you get at night gives you more energy in the morning?
It keeps me from getting headaches. I'll talk briefly about it, but I can't tell if you have more energy because you're so high energy. What is low energy for Rick Rose? I don't have a clue. But no, I started wearing a CPAP 4 years ago, and I'm lucky because I can wear the nostril ones. For anybody who knows what we're talking about, I don't have to wear a mask. I'm not a mouth breather, so I don't have to have and I don't mean that like a slur. It's actually a thing. I can wear the little pillow masks that just go up into my nose. See me poke my nosies, and then it's just a strap over my head. It's not uncomfortable at all, and the hose is like 6 feet long, so I have no problem with it. And I started using it 4 years ago. What happened was, first of all, I was snore like a horrible person, and I'm hoping that losing a bunch of weight will help that. But I also was waking up with headaches a lot, and that's from oxygen deprivation. I was not getting enough oxygen to my brain. That does not happen anymore. So, yeah.
Well, and people forget that it was Reggie White who played for the Packers, big center, big guy, good player back in the day, then early 90s when they were winning all the Super Bowls back-to-back playing. He died of this, and
really?
He's right here. Yeah, he was a pastor right here in Wisconsin in Kenosha, Racine area. And because of that and the attention that came after it about what sleep apnea is, and then Rosie O'Donnell and some other major players, coming out and admitting that not Rosie O'Donnell, who was it? Roseanne Barr, people, it came to their attention. And it's funny because I was going to have that as a what's new item. And then I was like, I still have this shame and embarrassment about it.
No. Everybody should talk about it.
I know. It's really, guys, some of it, it's hereditary or genetic. Some of us just don't have, our throat isn't big enough. I'm medium-sized throat. I don't know if they did your throat measurement. Do you remember? Yours was a while ago. Mine's so new.
4 years ago. I did do the test, though, where I did it, but I was able to do it at home. I didn't have to spend the night there, where you sleep with it on the first time, and that you got a bunch of little electrodes stuck to you.
Yeah, that's the new thing, And even me, Mark, I did all my interviews, even after the fact. They sent it to me in the mail. They're calling as a follow-up. Everything is so, virtual, not virtual now, but, you don't have to go in for all that stuff. But, yeah. I enjoyed it. I really did. I think I'm a little better. Mine's so new, I'm still kind of got the smell of plastic on my face this morning because I do the full mask.
Oh, you use the mask. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so good. And, that's what's new. Also, just got back from Mardi Gras. Big shout out to my friend Lynn. She'll probably hear the show, so I'm going to load her up.
Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. So the story with Lynn is she and her friend Kelly and their 2 husbands, Brady and Jason, who I just live and adore, they have a half a bus. They bought this bus. They cut it in half. The back bed is where you ride in, and it's the crew of Highland. It was this last Sunday. They always invite me to come and throw. So throwing means, we're throwing beads, stuffed animals. There's bead throwing, and then there's throw throwing. Throw throws can be anything from a hot dog. This is a family-friendly parade, and a lot of people throw hot dogs. It's not the candy we knew in the Northwoods. No one throws candy, but it can be a cup, like here, I got my little Crew of Gemini cup, whatever. And we had a blast. But not poor Lynn, but she hops on the float and she hurts her ankle right away. Well, the good news is our friends Shane and Tammy were on the float. Shane runs orthopedic surgery for LSU Hospital. He took a look at it. He's like, yeah, Lynn, we can get you through the parade, but you need to come see me tomorrow morning. Well, sure enough, Lynn was a trooper, true New Orleans. She lived there most of her life, now lives in Shreveport. She made it through the parade. The next day, Mark, she went to see Shane, and she got a broken ankle. But that's the spirit of Mardi Gras. You just give and celebrate. It was awesome. And then tomorrow night, I want to shout out to Stephanie Klatt, to my friend Andy, Seb's brother Jared. I'm going down to Beloit. We're going for the Beloit International Film Festival, which our film, by the way, won an award a couple years ago. Remember?
Yes.
Yes. So we're going down to see some final films down there. The festival wraps up with an award ceremony in the morning, film at night. So it's going to be fun to go down to my alma mater, meet some friends, do all that. That's what's new. And what's really fun is, you knew Steph and I when we were hosting a show together called Discover Wisconsin. She went on to be Secretary of Tourism. I went on to become Rick Rose bitch. Our lives really developed over those years. But now we're just like, hey, we don't have to talk about anything. We're in retirement. Let's have a glass of Pinot Noir or something, So it's just a different feeling when you see friends when you're kind of in a retirement mindset than when you are kind of in a work mindset. Does that make sense?
It does. And, I'm looking forward to it. Because like not everybody I know is retired, but most of the people in my little circle, Frank, his friend Lisa, my friend Jerry, his husband, who is doesn't work a lot. But they're all like retired, and I've been working for 5 years, going like, God damn it.
No,
so that'll be over soon.
Well, and the other thing is, I hear you. Joe versus Carol launched yesterday on Peacock. This is the series. I think it's broken into 8 parts, about an hour each, of the Lion King or the Tiger King. And I realized I have free Peacock, but I'd have to upgrade it to $5 a month to get it. Do I really want to see this series? It's kind of, some people are like, Kate McKinnon's awesome. I'd love to see her, but what do you think?
I think I'm tired of having to subscribe to watch one show. I did it for Dexter with Showtime, and I'm done with it. We have YouTube TV, we've got HBO Max, I got Prime Video, and I got BritBox, which I told you I love.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm just
So
enough
did you
already.
cancel Showtime after you watched all the Dexter stuff?
Huh?
Did you cancel it?
I did cancel it because I only wanted it to see Dexter, and I don't need all these subscriptions. Part of the reason for cutting the cord was to lower the cost. And like, how are you lowering the cost when you've got 6 streaming services and you're paying as much as you paid for cable?
Yeah. And this is my world. This is what I do for a job now. As I wind down toward retirement, is I, run the streaming division of our company, moving things from broadcast to streaming along with my friend Nicole. And to your point, I'd love to hear from people. Cord cutting was all about that, to save money. And now people are discovering, we're paying more than we did pay. But there's more content out there. So it's coming with something, But yeah, I'm with you.
We don't make people pay for the twist, and we never will. The twist will always be free.
Can you really say that right now? Because what happens if we ever
listen? If they want to donate, just go to my website or thetwistpodcast.com and buy me a cup of coffee. I've got
Rick Rose for Dane County. You can donate there, and then
but that's campaign stuff. We can't break laws.
I don't think I was even supposed to mention that on the show, was I?
I don't know, but I got a little buy me a cup of coffee thing. It's a lot of websites have it now, where you can just donate $5.
That's cute. I think we should do that. Yeah, mine was just go to the Facebook page and check me out. Wink. But anyway, one last thing that's new, Mark. And I thought of you when I saw this. They discovered this new frog, and I think the name of it is like the chocolate frog or something. And it's not edible. It's a real frog. Don't eat it. It may be poisonous.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a new species of burrowing frog. It's discovered after scientists were able to find it by its unique beep sound down in the Amazon. Now, people down there, locals in Peru, have known about the tiny burrowing frog due to its beep beep sound, but they just never followed it. So after 3 days of searching, waiting for an adult to come out of the dirt, the scientists discovered it. It's a tiny brown frog, very tiny, and it's cute, and you got to check it out. It looks like a chocolate frog. You know how they make different animals like crocodiles and stuff in chocolate? You know what I'm saying? Shaped like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, just had to share with our audience that's a new frog that's out.
How do I look, by the way?
You look great.
I'm just asking because now, like I said, I'm going to have time to do everything soon, and I'm thinking maybe it would be fun to do the because we record this. It's a video recording.
Yes.
I only put out the audio, but I might go back to letting people see what we look like. So think about all that nudity that you do in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just in a little tank top, but that's a good idea. And I also yesterday for my campaign, because we're in the final month, I'm doing videos now. So my friend Andy got me all set up with one of those ring lights and where you put the phone, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, we gotta try. Yeah, we gotta explore this stuff because I'm gonna be a super producer soon. And if Russell Brand can have like 5 million people listening to his insane bullshit. You and I, there you go. See, I had to do it.
Had to.
I had to. He was like, my sister is like, she's a conservative, and she's like, oh, you got to watch Russell Brand. He's telling the truth, and 5 million people know it. And I'm just looking at his videos. First of all, I've never been a fan of his. But he's got one of them recently where he was jumping on that Hillary spied on Trump campaign bullshit, which was debunked the next day. But he didn't take it down. He didn't apologize. He didn't correct himself. So I've got no interest in, they're doing it for the money. They're doing it for the money. Thank God the Twist podcast will never have enough of an audience to lure us into deception with the money.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Nope.
And we'll always be free.
Well, the only time I've liked Russell Brand and I talked
when he married Katy Perry.
Well, no, of course, Katy doesn't like him. No, he's in the movie Death on the Nile, and he's actually very good.
Well, that's okay. He's going to be an asshole. There's a lot of good assholes out there.
Yeah.
John Voight.
True.
Just because you're an entertainer doesn't mean you're profound.
Oh, my God. Okay, let's move on, shall we?
Oh, my God. Headlines.
By the way, I did hear a lot of compliments how you were so free and natural last week, and people really, or last on 185 podcast. So listen back to it, guys. Mark was unabashed, and we had a great time.
And come to think of it, I might be doing the red lines as a video. Anyways, here's some headlines, folks. I told you I didn't have time to be quite as prepared as I like to be.
Right.
So I'm gonna snatch some stuff from the red lines, actually.
Oh, nice.
LGBTQ act. I just can't bring myself to just call everybody queer. I can't do it. LGBT activists capture hiding Russian soldiers. That was from the Star Observer. I don't know the truth of it or what happened to it. It was just one of those headlines. It's like, yeah, because I'm telling you, Rick, the Ukrainian queer people in Ukraine are headed for a very, very dark time with Russia taking over the country. There was one that out in New Jersey from their website said, will the Supreme Court ruling on abortion affect LGBTQ rights? I don't know that it will directly, but it's headed that way. It's part of an expansion that this court and the right wing is doing to curtail the rights of people they don't like. So I think it's very possible that it will. Hate groups proliferate in Pennsylvania as the state GOP descends into MAGA paranoia. Now, Pennsylvania's right across the river from me. I work there. We spent a lot of time in Pennsylvania. But they do have like this insane Republican faction that I'm not happy about. Here's another one. Women in key states are worried about the economy, but happy with finances. I was happy to hear that because it's also doom and gloom with inflation and the media narrative that everything's going to shit. But not everybody actually agrees with that.
Right, true.
Here's one from Health and Aging. New research investigates how aging can affect sleep quality. There you go. I got a CPAP and I'm old. I'm in trouble. That's why I only sleep 5 hours a night, right?
That's so funny.
Retirement age for maximum Social Security benefits rose again. Fortunately, that doesn't affect us, I don't think. And I'm already on Social Security. I'm already getting it. And I was really happy with the raise. I got like $100 or more a month this year. But they're just going to raise it. They're raising it again. Mine right now it's 66.5 for me. It's probably going to end up being 70 in a couple of years before they just say that the Republicans say there's no money left and they cut it.
That's the thing. I'm going to talk about that when I talk a little later about, quote, the great retirement. They're faulting us because so many of us are not working, which is what retirement is, by the way. And therefore they think we're going to be the ones that fuck up Social Security.
We're not. The ones who fucked it up, and I imagine Democrats are partly part of this blame. They kept for years. The government would take money from the Social Security fund to fund other things and not pay it back. The Social Security fund would have no problems whatsoever if it had been untouchable all these years.
I agree. And by the way, retirement might have to be in the title of the show somehow. Maybe people won't click on it because they don't care about us anymore. But this seems to be a theme. Go ahead. That we're talking about retirement a lot today. So it's good.
I might put it in there if I can think of something snarky. something to do with it. Entertainment industry mobilizes to sanction Russia over Ukraine. I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
You know, I said on my weekly Redlines podcast that I'm not real big on celebrities' opinions about anything, right, left, or anywhere else. I just don't need them. But I'm always happy to see that the entertainment industry is doing something. Travel, Hawaii COVID restrictions have been lifted. So if you're heading to Honolulu, there's something to look forward to. And then lastly, from my odd news section, a goat helped catch a fleeing suspect in the United Kingdom.
Oh, come on. How so? You got to give some deets on that.
No, I told you I was pressed for time this morning.
Oh,
my deep dives are limited. These are
so you saw the headline, you clicked on it, and you're like, that's a good one. Oh, you were just using, yeah.
Well, you know, this is for the online edition. I just do link throughs. I put the headline and the link through and then the source. From the Daily Beast, a Wisconsin woman dismembered her victim.
I can't even. I saw this story in Green Bay after they were doing meth.
It was drug fueled, and she put his head in a bucket. Talk about a bucket list.
It was even more than that, to be honest with you. It was anyway, I can't. Part of his male anatomy was somewhere, and she said, yeah, I wanted the police to have to find every part to piece it together.
Oh, I didn't go that deep into it. I couldn't.
I did. Sorry, I did.
A man was saved after clinging to an ice chunk in Alaska's Cook Inlet.
I love that. We have that happen here in Wisconsin a lot. You float away till they get you. You know?
Really? A family dog found a mountain lion under the porch in Colorado. I don't know. That doesn't seem that odd. And then there was a list of 7 weird museums that existed around the world. I would have done that as my listicle, but I did not. I do have another one. That's my headlines for the day. I'll try to be a little bit more explicit the next time.
Oh, I think that's pretty explicit. Oh, by the way, my friend Courtney says hi. Sent me a little snap.
Hi.
She says hi. She'll be listening to the show. Her husband, Ken, she's in Shreveport right now, and I got to see her because she works there, but she lives in Austin with her husband, Ken. Ken says hi, too. He asked when the show's going to be released. Hey, guys. You know,
my coffee tastes like soap.
Oh,
I think
really?
I think it was the cup.
You know what that's about? You didn't rinse your cup enough.
I know. Go ahead.
Mark. You know, your eyesight doesn't. Oh, Mark. Okay, so we were talking about the frog. By the way, I'll get to it later in the show when we'll talk about our social media. But if you go to the Twist podcast right now on Instagram, you will see a picture of the chocolate frog.
Oh, cool! And you know I'm back on Instagram.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm excited.
I couldn't log on, and then my phone had the password stored in it, so I was able to do it again because I submitted us to be
on Amazon something
Instagrammed by the Amazon podcast. So we'll see if they do it or not. I don't know.
That's okay. That's great. But by the way, I did send you the logins. Did you not need them then, after all?
I don't know. It just, don't tell me why. I don't know why, but it didn't work when I tried to do it manually. But when I did it as a cookie from my phone, it worked.
I'm just glad you're in. I call cookies donuts, by the way. Whenever I'm in important meetings, I'm always talking about donuts, and they're like, do you mean cookies?
Oh, that's gross, Frank. I mean, Rick the frog. Oh, come on.
Why? Why is a donut gross but a cookie isn't?
No, the frog is gross.
Oh, the frog. It's pretty. I'd eat that thing.
A glazed frog.
That's what I'm saying. Now we got to have everybody go look well down the show. See, we are interactive, Mark. When we're doing this, we're like interacting. Anyway, speaking of species like that, there's a Mexican tequila fish. Of course, you know, I have tequila, I guess, pegged to come up in my feed all the time, even though I'm not drinking because it's Lent. But Mexican tequila fish is successfully reintroduced where it was once extinct after 5 pairs are sent from the UK. So they went back into the waters. Very exciting. It's the first Mexican fish to ever come back from so close to the brink. They had just 1 left, and then, or they must have 2, right? Because that's how it works, right? In the marine world. But anyway, now they have 5, and they're back home in Mexico. Pretty exciting.
Maybe that the worm.
That's funny. How do you catch a tequila fish? Have it eat its own worm, or get it?
I like it. That's funny.
We gotta flesh that out. But I'm also wondering now. They were sent from the UK, so maybe your goat had something to do with this story. I'm funny.
Yeah,
that was funny. Okay, should I continue with my stories?
Yeah, please, and then we'll move on to the booze.
Well, this one you'll love as an animal lover, and Ken and Courtney, by the way, are animal lovers. You know, Rick Rose is not, but that's okay. Cats and dogs may protect owners from memory loss in later life, a study shows. This study came out basically talking about a lot of people are saying, you know, when you own a pet like a dog or a cat for 5 years or longer, you may be linked to, lower blood pressure, lower stress, all those great health benefits that come from it. But now a study from the University of Michigan Medical Center in Ann Arbor says that if you have that animal for at least 5 years or longer, you're also going to benefit from cognitive response. It will help you with your decline. Imagine, isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Yeah, so maybe we'll test it. We'll see, because I don't have one and you do, and we'll see if who gets the dementia sooner, you or me.
I think you got a head start.
It's pretty funny. This other story, I didn't go too deep in it because it started talking about things like oscillations and gammas and organisms and all this other stuff, but it's very scientific. But the headline says, imagine reliving your entire life in the space of seconds. You know how we say before you die, your life flashes in front of you? There is science now. They studied this one guy's brain. An 87-year-old patient developed epilepsy, and Dr. Vicente of the University of Tartu in Estonia and his colleagues did some testing on him, and his life flashed in front of him. And so they say,
really?
Yes. So they go deeper in this study.
That's
They're saying
really weird.
See, I thought you'd find that. I think it's fascinating. I want to see.
It is fascinating and weird.
Yeah, weird science. Not a bad thing. And then let me see. I'm fingering this phone, sliding it left and right. You know how that works when you're trying to find stuff. I had some good news, didn't I? You want my good news?
Yeah, good news. I forgot my happy news.
Well, my happy news is all about the great retirement, Mark. So let me talk about it real quick, and we'll get into it. We used to have topic of the day. We don't do that anymore. We just kind of fold it into the show. But the thing is, there was a time when people would retire and then not be able to settle down. This was just 10, 20 years ago, right? And people would take jobs, like Mark included. Not quite retirement age, but, kind of. I mean, you took that job after you were 55, right?
Yes, for the health insurance.
Yeah, there you go. So many people took him for different reasons. But in the years leading up to the pandemic, many Americans said they wanted to work well past their traditional retirement age. As a matter of fact, in 2013, and we have talked about it on our show, by the way, a solid 10% told Gallup polls that they would never exit the workforce. Sure, some of this was driven by financial necessity, like you said, insurance and other things. But it also did reflect an obsession with work as a way of finding meaning in life here in the United States. So this story, which was in the Washington Post, goes on to contend that now all of that's changed, with people taking a break because of the virus in the last couple of years. Retired people are finding they like retirement. And now that may cause a problem. So there's no mandated paid sick leave or vacation time. Age discrimination is rife. It's very harsh on people like us, when we come back and we were doing all this work. That's my good news, that retirees finally have a voice, because we were contributing and people were accepting it, but we had to do it with, now there's all these issues. Good luck trying to get hired. I had a friend tell me the other day, Mark, she's not even 40, and she said she's facing age discrimination when she's going to look for employment at 40 years old.
Wow.
And so many older employers say that they would like to stay connected to their jobs in retirement, but they worry they won't be able to do so. So in this study, they're showing that, many of us are just choosing to retire like we were supposed to do. So that's my good news. You want to retire, folks, retire. You don't have to find, worth by staying in a workforce that isn't appreciating you. That's all I'm saying. Bing, bing,
There's some kind of truck outside. I'm not going to go look, but
I don't hear it. All I hear is the birds.
All right.
Hey, what you got? Should we jump into twist tops or the listicles?
No, we do the booze and the booyahs.
Okay.
That's the way it is. The format doesn't really change.
Yeah.
You just forget it.
Mark, I'm a rule breaker, not a rule follower. And we all know that. So let me jump in with my booze. Because they're pretty obvious. We've talked about all these people on the show at one point or another. We shouldn't even talk about them. But they are running a poll online, just like the top gay stuff we did last week. Like who's your favorite gay icon? Who's your favorite gay? Whatever. That was done by Queerty. But their sister website is doing something now where it's called, and this is LGBTQ Nation. It's saying who is worse. And they're doing a study of the vote now and tell us which one of these jerks you most want to tell, girl, bye. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Bye.
Josh Hawley.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson. Bye. Eric Trump.
All of them.
And the last one, Meghan McCain.
Oh, I don't whatever. She can go do whatever she wants to do. I don't
But
really
the
pay
other
her.
ones-
I don't pay her any attention. She's just bitter. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is a nut job. I think she would get my biggest boo.
Yep.
I mean, my biggest whatever. You know what I mean?
And a common factor, of course, these guys are all anti-LGBTQ, which really makes you sick. But anyway, I agree that she would probably get my biggest boo. Go on to LGBTQ Nation, guys, and make your vote for who gets the biggest boo. That's my big boo.
Who's your boo? Yeah.
Oh, my God, Mark. And I know you're happy with him this week, too. President Biden. Just saying. For many reasons, I think the guy is doing a great job. He's got a lot that he's going with. And what I really liked is that he came out on Texas pretty strong. I don't want to relive what was on our last show and talking about. It's even hard for me to talk about the hate that's going on for Texas, where the governor is ordering, and allowing people to go and investigate homes of transgender children to say, what are the parents doing? And, this is horrible. It's just sad that we're to that point. But Biden came back and the commentary that I read was, he's using a very Republican stance to attack it. And he's basically saying, isn't this what we call government overreach? Right? So the Republicans have notoriously said, hey, back off, let people be people. The Democrats are trying to get involved in everybody's life and do things for them socially and all that. So he's accusing Governor Abbott, and they want to call him governor, of basically going in and doing government overreach. And in Biden's statement, he said, like so many anti-transgender attacks proliferating in states across the country, the governor's actions callously threaten to harm children and their families just to score political points. These actions are terrifying many families in Texas and beyond, and they must stop. Big booyah to the governor.
Excellent.
To the president. Yeah. What you got?
My boo, I always have a couple now. Joe Manchin, for sure, because he not only did he pretty much ruin Biden's agenda single-handedly along with his gal pal, Kirsten Sinema, but some 12-point-something million kids are now below the poverty line. They're back below the poverty line because the child tax credit ended, the expanded child tax credit. Families were getting $300 a month per child. And Manchin bought into this right-wing bullshit about how they're just using it to buy drugs. I mean, how insulting and offensive is that? But now you have 12 million plus kids who are back in poverty because their parents are not getting this assistance anymore. So big boo to Joe Manchin. Big boo on racist bullshit on Biden's SCOTUS pick. I said choosing the best qualified person for the Supreme Court and choosing a black woman are not mutually exclusive. And that's just gonna be my boos today. Booyah is Zelensky, man. President Zelensky. There's a tough guy.
Can you believe that? He is out there fighting.
He's a tough guy. Trump is some bloated, old, fat, orange, wannabe, fake tough guy. Zelensky is the real deal. And I'm sad because he's probably going to end up in a Russian prison if he's not killed. I hope not. I hope at the very last minute he's able to leave the country when everybody says he's done as much as he can. But he's just real. He's not leaving. They offered to get him out of there and he said no. And to me, that's a tough guy. So booyah to Zelensky. And then the students across the country who are fighting back against this don't say gay bullshit. They had a big walkout in Florida in a bunch of schools where the high school students walked out over this bill that DeSantis will certainly sign. And then even here in Flemington, I was really happy. Frank sent me a news link. Flemington is a city near here that's fairly large in New Jersey. And they had a school board meeting and 300 people, students and supporters and allies showed up with rainbow masks because you got to wear masks.
Nice.
To say, don't ban books in our school. Don't deprive LGBTQ kids or black kids either of being able to read about themselves. I mean, it was really gave me a lot of hope for the future because sometimes I'm just like I'm get depressed about the success that the right wing is having, but the kids are saying no, we're not having it. So that's my big booyahs.
Those are good. I'm going to jump it. Now, what's next on the agenda?
Twist tops. You're going first today. I like it. Go for it.
Oh, my God. I know. Did you like how I just decided that I'm going to be?
I like it. It's very, you and Zelensky.
Yeah. Or Miss Ukraine. Have you seen that? Those images? She's out there fighting too.
Oh, good. With a gun.
Have you seen those images?
Yeah, I did. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's cool too. So, Rick Rose. Being a little jump starter this morning, aren't I? Yeah. See, it must be the CPAP that made me all aggressive.
I know.
Yeah. So, So my first twist top relates to my tea. Get your tea on, baby. So with Lent comes giving up of things. For me, for many in the faith, and you can in the Christian faith, Lent is a time to give things up. Or to take on new things. Some people argue, well, you don't have to give things up. You can just try new things, like being nice. I'm like, well, I try that every day in my life. Because I
got to be nice anyways.
Yes. Right?
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Slap. But so I go to tea because I give up coffee. I give up swearing as best I can. That's not so good.
Sorry.
Yeah. What? No, I give it up. I can listen. Swear all you want, Mark. I give up peanut butter. Yeah, so a lot of friends inherited my peanut butter jars because I just don't want them around because I do get tempted. I'm human that way. And then I give up chocolate, So I give up some good things. And most of all, I give up booze, but that's a whole nother story. So I'm back onto tea. I love tea, Mark. And people don't get, really look at it. When you think of coffees, first of all, you get coffee beans from Papua New Guinea. You can look at getting them from Ethiopia. But most people that drink coffee just drink coffee. And the way they look at it is, do I do a flavored coffee like hazelnut or vanilla? Or do I want just straight coffee, right? Do I want a medium strength or dark strength, right? Those are about your choices, right? With cream, without. Wouldn't you think that I'm kind of nailing that there?
Yes.
You don't really get into it. But when you're into teas are amazing. There are 6 main teas, just so you know. The core teas, just like wines, by the way. There are core wines. But there are white teas, green teas, yellow teas, oolong teas, which are my favorite if anyone were to ask, black teas, and dark teas. Those are usually also called post-fermented teas. But when you go into the tea list, green tea, black tea, oolong tea, like all those I mentioned, then you have matchas, chamomile teas, Darjeeling teas, Assam teas, which are great teas from Africa, rooibos teas, which are also from Africa, Ceylon teas from Ceylon, Sri Lanka. There are so many kinds of teas. And then on top of it, all these things like hot and iced tea lattes, right? You can get matcha lattes now, espressos. I get rooibos red tea espressos, or I get a made Americana style with honey. Shout out to my friends at Eagle River Roasters, my friend Becky, who makes mine every time I come up north. And then, Mark, there's things like tea ceremonies, right? You got the high teas, like you and Frank did, British style teas. Yeah. In my culture, where I lived in Japan, Japanese tea ceremonies, there are actually classes in it. It's awesome. So if people are asking me my favorite teas, I love an Earl Grey, and I like to make it like my mom does, is a London Fog. Have you heard of a London Fog?
No, I've been in one several times.
All about that goat. You were really
all about that goat. Meghan Trainor. All about that goat.
What do you get when you put 2 CPAP dudes in a room on a Friday morning? But anyway, yes. So my favorite is Earl Grey, which is really like a chai latte, but it's made with Earl Grey tea instead. So it's called a London Fog. And my favorite maker of tea, or selector, purveyor of tea, I should say, they don't grow it, they travel the world to get it, is Rishi Tea Company. It's got a big national presence now, but they're out of Milwaukee. And when I had my restaurant Twine, which Mark and his husband Frank have been to,
we were there.
Yeah, down in Shreveport, named by my friend Roger. Shout out to Roger for giving me his name. Hey, Roger. Twine used Rishi teas. And Twine was unique because it was teas and wines. And I look at tea selection very much like wine selection, like I referred to earlier. So that's my twist top. My first twist top is check out your teas, guys. They're great. My other one, I have such joy in my heart this morning. I went to see a movie yesterday. Here's the story. I went with my friend Patty. We went to see the Oscar shorts. You know how that this time of year, some theaters will run the 5 live shorts and the 5 animated shorts that are nominated. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we go to this theater, and as we're buying our tickets to see the live shorts, the guy's like, well, 3 of the movies are in another language, and they're not dubbed in English, and they're not subtitled. I'm like, what happened? They go, oh, they sent us the wrong reel. And I'm like, I'm not going to work through that unless it's Japanese or German, where I can kind of understand, So we decided not to. So we sat down and we grabbed a glass of water and some cheese curds, because that's what you do in Wisconsin during Lent. We went to see Cyrano, Mark, and it was beautiful.
Is this new? I never heard of it. I mean, I know who Cyrano is, but
Yeah. So Cyrano was actually a play on Broadway a couple years ago. Erica Schmidt wrote it. For those that don't know, she is the wife of Peter Dinklage, who plays the lead in Cyrano.
Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah. It's based on Rostand's classic play from 1897 called Cyrano de Bergerac, which is based on a real character who was short in stature but strong in spirit. And I will tell you this, the movie perfectly goes along with the Broadway show. Now, Patty, who was with me, saw the Broadway show, and she saw this, and I asked her differences. I said, I'm going to talk about it as my twist top. And she said, well, this one was so intimate. And what I loved about it, Mark, often, you'll see Hamilton on Broadway, and then you'll see just the stage version, which is really just a camera shooting the stage. It's a little more complicated, multiple angles and stuff. Or you'll see a show that was on Broadway, Hairspray, and they make it into a movie or something, and it kind of still mirrors what's going on. This was very different. The director had a uncanny ability to make this very close. So we were close up on faces and eyes and bullets and
noses.
No, it just made it very much like I saw the play. This is beautiful music by The National. If you don't know that group, it's two sets of brothers and another guy. It's great musicians out of Ohio. They do the music of it. It's amazing. It is. Here's my twist up and reason I picked it. It is the most romantic movie I have ever seen. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Honestly, well worth it. Go see Cyrano. That's my two twist tops, Marky.
I have one twist top, and I'll keep it short since you took all of our twist top time.
I didn't know we had a lot.
No, sometimes we do the same thing too. I'll take getting to the point can take a little bit of a winding.
Oh my God! You did not just shame me on public.
No, radio. I do it too, Rick. I do it too. My twist top is just hiking. Yesterday I was able to. Frank belongs to the hiking club, the Kingwood the Kingwood hiking club. So he's been going on hikes forever because he walks every day. You know that.
Yes.
So they have a mindfulness walk every Thursday, and I can't go because I work on Thursdays, but I'm off this week. There we go. So I went on a hike with a small group of people, and it was really nice. I should have written down the name of the place, but it was a poetry hike where it's a nature center, and you walk around, and every so often there's a poem that's posted in a frame on a podium kind of thing, and that's in the ground. So as we walk around, you walk and we did talk. We broke the rules. Sometimes you don't talk on a mindfulness walk. That's the point. But we would stop and read the poems, and one of them is my end quote. But my twist top is to take hikes, and join a hiking club if there's one near you. It's a really good way to meet people, and it's a good way to exercise and get out in nature. And that's kind of it. I just, a lot of twist tops that, can be a restaurant, it can be a movie, or it can be something that we have discovered. And this is only the second time I've gone on a hike because I work when they hike. Most of the time. That's going to change soon, and I believe I will be going on quite a few more of these. But it's just such a nice way to relax and be peaceful and get out and be in nature and walk, exercise your body and rejuvenate, refresh yourself. Go for hikes, join a club, meet some people.
Whatever your level is or wherever you're at, you can always find a hiking experience. I love what you said. We actually, after Ash Wednesday, it was a drive up. They were roasting marshmallows, but then also putting ashes on at this UCC church. But what was cool, Mark, they had a labyrinth inside. So it was a carpeted labyrinth, and we walked it. And much like you said, along the path of the labyrinth, you can stop and read poetry and stuff. It was not quite a hike, but it was a wonderful experience indeed.
And they have trails everywhere. When we go to Pennsylvania to visit Grace and Charlie, our friends there, they have amazing trails all over this country. There have to be things near you. If you live in a city too, there's hiking clubs in a city or walking clubs. You just go for walks with people. It's really, really, really recommend it.
Well, and I like that about it because I did this with my friend Alejandra. But there's something about hiking, even if you're silent, just being in the presence of someone you care about, love.
Yeah, I think a lot of people associate hiking with strenuous, walking through the brush in your boots and getting thorns in your legs, and that's not it.
And it can be, but
that's not the definition of hiking. And on that vein, since I did this, my listicle is hiking trails with waterfalls in New Jersey.
Nice.
All right, so you can find your own. Just go online and look. These are some New Jersey hiking trails with waterfalls to check out. The Rockley Wood Sanctuary and Lamont Reserve Loop. It's in Bergen County. It's an easy hike on the Roaring Ravine Trail alongside the cascading Roaring Brook. Another one is Falling Waters and Grand Loop Trails in Morris County. True to its name, the Falling Waters Trail runs alongside two beautiful cascades. We've got the South Mountain Reservation in Essex County. You pass the Maple Falls Cascade, Beach Brook Cascade, and Hemlock Falls. We've got the Black River / Bamboo Brook Trail Loop in Morris County also.
Nice.
We've got the Giant Stairs, the Long Path Loop in Bergen County. This is strenuous. If you like strenuous, it's a favorite. It passes the Peanut Leap Cascade, speaking of our little cat Peanut, and fantastic views. You can find these all over the place too. We've found some really amazing trails. I mean, I guess the difference would be a hiking trail and waterfalls and bridges, suspended walking bridges. There's so much you can find out there. So do it, people.
I love it. Now, did you go to that one that's really high gain?
No, but we've gone to a few that were really interesting. There's a couple of them not far from here. There's one in Frenchtown, which is a 12-minute drive from here. We go there, and that it's like a mile loop, and you walk through the woods, and there is a little suspended bridge that you walk over, and I love doing that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Just don't get hurt. Be careful.
No. Well, yeah, and you got to be careful for sure. My list is actually, this is done. So this came out at the beginning of this year. That's the time they do it. The University of it's Lake Superior State University in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, right? So I was born 20 minutes from there. They put out a lighthearted list of 10 winning words chosen from among more than 1,200 submissions of overused, misused, and generally groan-inducing words or phrases that they don't want to see used again. So from 2021, top of the list was "Wait, what?"
Yes,
I like that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I wanted to.
You remember that one?
Yeah, this list actually, Mark, I do remember it. And actually, you can go back and look at their list, which started in 1976, which is a lot of fun to go back and see the words back then that people grew out of favor with. Past nods have been sap, surly, classic, bromance. These are all words we don't want to use anymore from past. But this year, they also said we're tired of using the word new normal, right? Kind of got sick with it. You're on mute. That's a phrase we should stop using. Well, yeah, I mean, it's all the time. You're on mute, like when you're on the phone, on a Zoom call, so to speak. Supply chain, they don't want that one used anymore.
Funny.
Yeah. And then the second one, I kind of jumped around here because that's how we do it when we're on the CPAP. Wait, what was the first one? And then the second one that made the list, you'll like this one. No worries.
Oh, interesting.
People say that all the time.
Why don't they like that?
I don't know. I think it's overused or misused, right? Like you step in front of someone and you say you're sorry and they're like, no worries. Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm sorry. I just stepped in front of you. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying. It's misused.
Okay. A little picky for me, but okay.
Well, and I get it. Like the other one I hate when you used to like step in front of someone and say, I'm sorry. And they'd be like, that's okay. Or, all good. That's the new phrase. All good.
Well, Americans say, I'm sorry instead of excuse me.
That's what I mean.
Like Americans don't, in French, it's pardonnez-moi. It's pardon me. Americans don't say pardon me. They say I'm sorry. Like if you, for whatever reason, you step in front of somebody, we say I'm sorry instead of excuse me or pardon me. So we're sorry about everything. That's why we're so sad, such a sad.
You're right. And in Japanese and in German, they have two different words, right? Just like in French, like one is excuse me and one is I'm sorry. They're very different. But in the United States, we don't use that much. I like pardon me. I use it a lot, because of that. Pardon me.
Pardon me.
Oh, so that's our listicles, guys.
We are at the end of the show. You want to do some social media stuff?
Yeah, I got to do some shout outs here on social media real quick. So kind of fun, Mark. I did look back. Like I was looking for my notes for today's show. And I did look back at The Twist in March. And last year's show, on this day that we recorded, the What's News were kind of interesting. They were about Lady Gaga's dogs being stolen. That was a year ago. Her dog Walker being hurt. It was about avocado toast, which was trending big time, and you were into it or something. Were you at one point?
I like it. I do like it, especially with an egg on it. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And then last year I was also in Shreveport this time of year, and there was a story up because we got that massive snowstorm and people had water shortages because the infrastructure wasn't built down in Texas and Louisiana. The story that I gave last year at this time was this Shreveport mom used a crawfish pot to give her kids a bath. You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, that's some stuff going on there. But I also want to let you know that people did write in after hearing our story. Eric Spitznagel, we talked about him and his wonderful story about Gen X's. Mm-hmm. He liked our post, so that was cool. And then people wrote in when I was talking about food trends. They said, Rick, don't forget about the Dorito. Do you know what Doritos are?
It's a Dorito with a donut or something.
Well, close. It's Dorito laced with marijuana, or as you call it. You don't call marijuana, do you? You call it, what'd you tell me last?
But okay, yeah. I don't get the Dorito. What, a weed like WEED? Dorito?
Yes, they call it Dorito. So it's Doritos. It's an actual Dorito in a little bag, and then they spray it with weed dust. So It's got cannabis on it, and they have Cheetos, and they have.
I have some. Where are you getting them? Where are they getting them?
Oh, well, I got a little supply here from my friends, so I'll say.
You know my address.
Okay, I got this. So tell me, do you like cereal or do you like more savory chips and stuff? Because I can do either for you.
Savory chips. I don't want cereal.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I can be mailing that shit, but I'm gonna.
I know. I can
DM me, Mark.
Dream.
Private message me, okay? We'll work out the details of it. That's it, really. Just follow us on social media, as Mark said. We are on. Both of us are back on Twitter. I'm sorry, on Instagram. Also on the old school Facebook because we are retirees.
Facebook is for old people, really.
It is. And so since I've been
that's why it's so popular with the Trump people.
And that only also because they get kicked off of every other platform. Oh, by the way, I know my twist tops went a little long, but I didn't tell you about the tea, the value of tea. When you were talking about the value of hiking, tea has flavonoids which are good for you. They have amino acids. So I could go on and on about that.
I'm a coffee guy, but I like knowing this.
It's good stuff. So now I'm going to give you my quote of the day, and I'll let you end with the quote, which is good. This is a quote from a writer, and she's pretty cool. Her name is Annie Dillard. She writes a lot about late nature. She's got a couple books out, so this ties in with hiking.
I know the name.
Yeah, she's good. I think she's from Pennsylvania, actually, Mark. But Teaching Us Don't to Talk is one of her books, An American Childhood. And then she has a book out called The Writing Life, just about being a writer. But I love this. And this ties in, Mark, and I didn't plan this, guys, but this is about nature. Her quote says, "Nature exalts in abounding radicality. If we were to judge nature by its common sense or likelihood, we wouldn't believe the world existed."
I like that. Mine is kind of a nature, too. And by the way, speaking of where people are from, William Carlos Williams is a very well-known poet, the late William Carlos Williams. For some reason, maybe it's because of the Carlos, I never thought he was from, I didn't know he was from New Jersey. He's from New Jersey. William Carlos Williams was from New Jersey.
I had no idea.
I thought he was like from Guatemala or something.
I was going to say, so did I. That's crazy. Cool.
Okay. This was one of the many poems that we saw on the trail yesterday. It's called Place. It's by W.S. Merwin. Here we go. On the last day of the world, I would want to plant a tree. What for? Not for the fruit. The tree that bears the fruit is not the one that was planted. I want the tree that stands in the earth for the first time, with the sun already going down, and the water touching its roots, in the earth full of the dead, and the clouds passing, one by one, over its leaves.
Whoa.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Those are both cool quotes, and we're in sync again, Mark.
Yep, everybody, awesome. We'll be back in 2 weeks, because we are going away again next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks,
bye,
Mark.
Everybody.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to the Twist Podcast with co-hosts Mark McNease and Rick Rose. Fasten your headphones and join us next time.